Kire here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in today's video we're doing part 2 of the all epics breakdown video. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll link it up here. And for all the people that watched that, thanks for all the positive comments. Really cool. It's been really encouraging being able to interact with all you guys, and I just think it's sweet that everyone's just so positive in this community. It's just awesome. So without further ado, let's get into it. And so now we're at the orcs. So we got Torture Helm. He's food / a fusion. We got Zargala, great defense down and a lot of damage. She's very cool. She would be worth booking for sure, because you could get this Devastate move on a 2-turn cooldown after you book it. And attacks an enemy, instantly activates crack armor skill if the target is killed by this attack. So if you can nuke someone, especially in like dungeons, especially in arena, then you do this, and then it's also going to do her crack armor move, which is attacks all enemies 3 times after this, placing a decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So she's just very good. She's just a really good damage dealer. I see her all the time in arena. So yeah, I pulled her kind of relatively late, so I didn't really build her for dungeons, but I probably would have if I pulled her earlier. Bloodfeather, not great. She's just food / fusion character. Bonekeeper, decreased defense on A1. Okay, she's okay. Okay character, nothing too crazy. Shaman, super early game character / food. Terror Beast is pretty meh. Yeah, reflect damage, kind of rare, but super meh. Vrask is a very good support for dungeons. I wouldn't really use him for clan boss. He's just a very solid character, kind of a unique character in the sense that he heals based off when he crits. So I think that's kind of cool. He's just a very simple, effective kid, has massive heals, good character. Seer, I think, is incredible. I think one of the best epics in the game, has a lot of useful utility. Avoid epic though, unfortunately, but A1 can just make her go again. But the main thing is going to be your A2 and her A3, which is places a 50% increase crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then places a weaken debuff on all allies for 2 turns. I like this because it doesn't do damage. It's just places it. So then all you got to do is the accuracy check. And then she also has the same thing for her A3, which is removes all buffs from all allies and enemies, then attacks all enemies. Damage increases according to the number of removed buffs, has a 50% chance of placing a sleep debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. She's just so good. She just has a lot of cool stuff where she can removes buffs. She gives good buffs in the sense that weaken and crit rate. I would use her for dungeons, not so much clan boss, but she's just really cool and really unique with the comboing of what she buffs and what she debuffs. Demon Spawn has a lot of good epics. Got a lure here with glass cannon, but can lock people out with her turn meter reduction. Kind of annoying that it's attacks at random. If she would be so much better. She would be insane if this was like attacks one enemy 3 times. So good. But she has some good burst on her A2. And also good burst on her A3 as well. Don't have too much experience with her. It's all going to come down to how much damage she does. I haven't seen too much use from her. Single target damage characters are usually not very good. This chick is food. I believe used for fusion as well. We got Soul Drinker. I haven't seen too much success with them. I think there's something interesting with a bomb squad that people haven't used. It would be arena only, so it's not worth the investment. But I see some potential there. It just I haven't actually seen it. Then we got Nizana. Nizana's a great support, really good ally protection. It's kind of cool that she gives ally protection, but also shields herself, so she doesn't take too much damage. She has win booked. I think this character, she just takes so many books that no one really does it, but I feel like it would be a really big game changer for dungeons and faction wars and even maybe arena if someone fully booked this character and really committed to her, because I think she's very good. Now that I've kind of booked a lot of the epics I use, I'm really considering booking out Nizana because I think she's really good. 3-turn cooldown, AoE, 75% chance decrease attack is awesome, and then has this ally protection move that I really like as well, especially for higher end hard dungeons when people hit really hard, because it's different than a lot of people bring increased defense, but this is another buff, so you can have increased defense and have ally protection. And so it's kind of cool that I pair those two instead of just having 2 characters that have increased defense, which is still good. It's still good, but that's good for like clan boss. And then we got Infernal Baroness here. I'm interested to see just how good she is. I think she is very interesting because she is an AoE character that is based off defense, which is cool. Then she can heal on her A1. I don't know exactly how good this character is, but I think she has a lot of potential. Darth Microtransaction did a video on her where it really helped her out with Spider 20. So I think you guys should check that video out. And if you guys want to see how good she is from there, make your own judgments. But I think I'm really excited to use her. I'm actually really excited on the pulls I have from Demon Spawn, just to kind of sidetrack a little bit, because I have a lot of AoE. I actually pulled 2 Kaimars. I got this guy here, Lord Shazar, and then Nizana and Infernal Baroness. So I think I have a lot of good characters. I think I'm going to push some content when it comes to Demon Spawn here. And I'll let you guys know what how that goes down, if it actually works out or not. Because as you'll notice too, it's a lot of AoE. So I'm thinking stun set, and then 2 stun sets here. And then the bombs in Faction Wars actually do 1 billion damage. It's like hilarious. And so I'm going to pretty much just make a support theme, and then he's going to be my damage. It's kind of my plan, but I'll let you guys know how that works out. And then Hellgazer, not used at all, just a single target damage dealer. Padma is kind of like Tyrell in the sense that she's a decrease attack character on her A1, but it requires her to crit. So she is a little bit more difficult to gear, but I think she's very good. And then she also is a little different too. So she has this attacks when enemy removes all buffs from the target and places them on this champion. So kind of cool. She has a decrease like buff steal instead of like a turn meter reduction that Tyrell has. So kind of interesting. Don't like this decrease accuracy debuff. I've never found that useful. But so Demon Spawn actually have like a lot of solid epics. We got Undead Hordes here. They do as well. Gorgorab and Seeker are very similar, very well discussed a lot. Catacomb Counselor teams up with 3 random allies and attacks a single enemy. See, this is cool. Catacomb Counselor is like an actual good, not as good as Longbeard, but a good version of that. Very cool character. If you pull him, I think he has a lot of potential in like arena, in dungeons, really speed up your clears. If you have AoE characters around his A1, super cool. Dark Azewell, login character, okay. Husk, at first, it has the max HP style hit like Rogard and Coldheart, so I think he has potential. It's just his typing has been bad on the type of content that would be useful in. Cram's pretty garbage. Lich is a fusion, I believe. I believe he's a fusion for Razin. Seen some use out of him. He's very like a selfish style character where it's like increases his own defense for 2 turns and then fully depletes the target's turn meter. Like text when enemy fully depletes the target's turn meter. I think there's potential with this guy. I haven't used it. I haven't seen too much of it. I haven't seen too much about this chick. Doesn't seem very good. Attacks when enemy places a 30% increased crit rate on this champion. Like that's just not good. If the target is killed has I just don't think that's very good. Heals this champion. Yeah, she's not good. But I think Mausoleum Mage is very good. A similar character to Scartorsus. If you compare him, Scartorsus is an amazing character. He's obviously not as good as him, but he's the budget version, if you will, of Scartorsus, and Scartorsus is a great character. So you got this move here where it places a block debuff buff on allies for 1 turn. It also places a increased crit rate and an increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Great A2 on a 3-turn cooldown, which is awesome for Clan Boss, which is awesome for dungeons. Reason being why this is good is the blocks debuffs, so you can't get punched. So you have this paired with another guy that increases defense, have him go last, and then if he does this and whoever gets punched, it doesn't matter because he block debuffs. It's not going to land. So very cool. And also he can remove all debuffs from all allies and then heals them by 10%. So, and then heals further based on how many debuffs removed, and then fills each ally's turn meter by 15% if 2 or more debuffs. So very cool. If you get some poisons on you, you do this, you boost up the turn meter of everyone, and it's on a 4-turn cooldown, which is awesome. So you can compare him. This is the guy that's very similar to him. He has this move here, but I don't know him specifically, but the Mausoleum Mage's cooldown is actually shorter. So when booked, so kind of cool. And also his buff is increase attack and increase crit rate. You can argue that this is a little better because it's, increased crit rate and increased defense. And I liked survivability. Increased attack is usually not something I like too much. So for arena, better. For most other content, this is better. So very cool character. I want to pull him. I keep seeing people pulling him. I feel like they're not putting some of his spec on his name. And we got Zelata here, just a solid support, shield buff, continuous heal, And then attacks all enemies with sleep. And then sleep on his A1, sleep on his A3, AoE. And then places a shield buff on all allies for equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. So you can stack this guy with HP. He's based off HP, so he's going to have a really high base there. So it just helps people out. Captain Tamilia, very good character. We got the text on enemy is A2 is very good. 3-turn defensive cooldown, very good. And then also the ally protection, very good. And Spider, I've seen just using his aura, seems pretty solid. And he also has the decreased defense buff, or debuff, I should say. Luria seems like a good just single target damage dealer, but that role is not good. So not a fan of her. Crimson Helm kind of has some cheesy stuff going on with her because she has the revive on death and she also has block damage buff, but it's just on her, so doesn't really work too well. Warden seems okay, nothing too crazy there. Delver's is another one of those single target damage dealers. Lua, I've seen a lot in arena, relatively a lot in arena for how rare she is. She just hits very hard, yeah, and it also fully depletes her turn meter. So she's one of those, probably one of the ones that I've had the most hard time with when it comes to the small class of characters that are single target damage dealers in arena. And then we got Sylar, who's great. She's a super good A3, which is a decreased speed debuff on all allies and then decreases turn meter on allies by 40%. Cool thing about it is I don't believe it does damage. It's just these kind of moves are better when they don't hit them, if they just do it, because then all that matters is accuracy. And then attacks all enemies that are A1. Very solid character. Definitely book this chick if you get her. Just 2 books. Hopefully they land on her A3 and you're done. And then, yeah, because decreased accuracy is trash. But this is probably the best one out of all of them when it comes to support characters. She has a super good A3. Removes all buffs from all enemies. Places a 50% decreased attack debuff and a 60% decreased debuff for 3 turns. Like, so good. 4-turn cooldown, nuts move. And then, stealing buffs, places black debuffs, true fear, so good. If you get her, awesome. Good pull there if you get her. I hope to get her too because she's sick. All right, and then we got Night Revenant, trash, mediocre, Brew Hunter, decreased defense, trash. Miscreated Monster is essentially a legendary. This guy's so good. Like his the shield amount, like I've seen in videos, is just crazy. If you get him, he's so good. He has the fear debuff on an attacker for 1 turn for an ally when attacked while under an ally protection buff. His protection, like the actual protection buff he gives, is insane. He has good cooldowns. 3-turn cooldown, 4-turn cooldown. He has A1 is insane too. Attacks one enemy 2 times, 50% chance of placing a stun debuff. And then if he actually lands it, decreased defense, which is just solid. I like that they would have made him too good. I think they knew they would have made him too good if it placed the decreased defense. Just in general, it needs the stun, so that means it doesn't work on bosses. So it kind of like a good modifier there. He's all based on HP. Just really good character. And then I think it's kind of funny in the whole Halloween thing, the epics, the 2 epics are, I would say right now, significantly better than Harvest Jack. I think Harvest Jack's still good, but it's pretty cool that these characters exist and they're actually, relatively attainable, but, and they're better than a legendary. So we got Sinesha here. Pretty much everyone knows about her. She's good. She pairs well with Skull Crown, solid support-ish / damage dealing epic character. Doom Priest here, solid support, mainly based on the passive here where it removes a debuff and heals people. So, and she also has a pretty good buff here, and also doesn't take many books at all. She's very similar to the other character we're talking about that takes almost no books. Text when enemy has a hit is critical, places a 15% increased attack buff, all allies for 2 turns. And that's actually kind of garbage. Okay, so Doom Priest, very good. Essentially, you just use her for her passive. I think she's fallen out of favor because I think she doesn't do enough, but she's pretty solid. And she also has a force ally speed in all battles. So, if you're going all force, got something going there. Deathless is trash. Kitus is known to be trash. We got Faceless, also garbage. Yeah, trash. Skull Crown, very notorious, super high AoE nuker. She also has pretty cool unkillable buff. I fully booked her. I think she's great. Golden Reaper, I'm still not sold on. I have her fully booked. I think she's a good support. If you have Apothecary, just stick with Apothecary. Don't waste the books. I think she's good. I think the thing is like I was very sold on this A1 where it reduces the cooldown of random skills, but I think you need to have, you not only do you need to get lucky and pull her, but you need to also have characters that really benefit from that. So like Longbeard would be example. Who was the other one? I believe it was, Catacomb Counselor. Catacomb Counselor would be a sick character to have in combination with Golden Reaper, because you just need Turvold would be another example. Just characters that have very devastating moves that are on a cooldown that are longer than you would want. The better the cooldown, or the more impactful the cooldown, the better pairing Golden Reaper is going to be. And so I just haven't seen, I've seen some benefits. Like, I don't get me wrong, I think she's very good, but she's just such an investment. Like, I think it takes all these books to make her even usable, and she's rare enough to where it's very hard to pull that. I used her in Arena because her base speed is actually incredible, but not having the increased attack buff actually kind of hurts in Arena. So and she only, so I think she's solid, but I'm still, I think she's right now good, but then the better characters get, the more characters that synergize with her, she could be great. Grizzlejar here, just a really good defensive character with definitely book him if you get him. Increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, and has the block debuffs. This is such a good combo for Clan Boss. I've seen this in Kizzle's videos actually, where he had there's a guy that runs a defense comp and places this combination is just good in Clan Boss. Like I touched on it earlier in this video, but it's just very good. So definitely keep that in mind if you're trying to build a team that you want to survive more in Clan Boss. Rearguard Sergeant is definitely a character that needs like every book, but it's just very good. Just very solid character, has the decreased attack, has ally protection. It's just going to help carry you through a lot of dungeons. It has a ton of utility. Rockbreaker, I've seen, okay character, single target damage, very tanky, has counterattack on his own, kind of interesting kit. He's very unique, solid character, nothing too crazy, but seems solid. This guy seems like garbage. Gala Long Braids, characters like this are really hard to evaluate because it's just a single target damage character that ignores defense. So she needs to hit like an absolute truck to be good, and then or to be okay, because even if she does, good characters with a ton of AoE are essentially better most of the time. I didn't even mean for this to go this long. I just started talking and then looked at when I pulled the footage in to edit it, I was like, wow, that was like an hour of talking. So was not intentional at all. But if you liked it, let me know. So I might do more of this kind of stuff, and hope you guys have a good day.